Hi, this is Tina Maish. Today I'm going to share with you how you can use screencasting in education. I'm going to share with you in this presentation different tools that can be used, as well as different features that are available and ideas that you can apply in the educational setting. First, what is screencasting? A screencast is a digital recording of computer screen output, just like we're doing right now, also known as a video screen capture, often containing audio narration. Right now, I'm just narrating a PowerPoint video. Here's a how-to example. Basically, I upload how-tos for students when it comes to projects or assignments in the classroom. And here, what I do is I'll upload them up to YouTube, and that way they can access how to do it in class or in school or at home. What are some of the things that you need? A headset for recording, a laptop or a desktop computer, and a screencasting tool. And I'm going to talk about what those tools are and what my favorites are. Now, regarding the headset, if you have a microphone on your computer and you want to screencast, you don't need to use the headset microphone. I just use that as a personal preference. I know some other educators that I've worked with, they've had that as a personal preference also, because it does screen out some of the outside noise in comparison to using just the microphone that's on your desktop or your laptop. Also, regarding headsets, I have to say when I have students utilize screencasting in the classroom, they get so excited they're going to be putting on headsets. They feel like they're doing some kind of video gaming. So I think it does create an enthusiasm for using it in the classroom. But that's up to you and whatever your preference is. How can you use screencasting in the classroom? What I did is I came up with a list here of all the top ideas I think that it could be used that are not too difficult to implement. Again, once you start using screencasting, it might be difficult at first trying to get to know your tools, but after you've done it a few times, you can whip them out pretty quick. Now, one thing that you can do is record a lesson. It can be watched anywhere, anytime. Let's say, like I'm doing right now, I'm doing a type of lesson, but it's not necessarily for students. But again, you can use that idea in recording that and sharing with students. Record procedures for projects. I just showed you in a previous slide, I was showing students how to create a brochure using Google Drive. A lot of students didn't know how to do that, so they could access that anywhere to see how they could do their project with making a brochure. You also could have how-to videos for all academic areas. Example, let's say you have a problem of the day in your classroom or a certain type of math problem, and you want to try to get the same information out to each class that you have. You can do a recording of that and show them how to do it. Another idea is, let's say you have a more difficult math problem and you want to be able to help students complete it, but there's only one of you and 20 of them. You can show the video, and students that maybe are struggling, you can go to them one-to-one. Or let's say you don't show the video first, you can allow the students to try it, and students are having difficulty, you can send them over to a computer to watch the video to help while you go around and help other students. So it does really help with differentiation. Another thing you could do is lessons for substitutes utilized in your absence. I know it's hard to have someone take over your classroom for the day, and sometimes you worry they won't get to know some of the skills that you would teach. Here's an example. You just can create a lesson and share it with the substitute for them to just click and go, and that can help. Another idea is for in-service presentations, professional development. Example would be this lesson right now. It is a professional development or in-service. So you can do that. Another example I can think of, I know when we were doing Park earlier this year, that we had a lot of screencasts that were shared with us that helped us understand how to log into Park, how to file the Park dashboard. So that was really helpful. I know I personally benefit from hearing something along with having a visual to go along with it. Hybrid learning, online and flipped classroom. It's a big trend now that we have all this technology, so if you have that involved in your curriculum, screencasting definitely is necessary to do that. student-created content and presentations. I know that often students in classrooms are asked to create presentations for projects, and I know sometimes what they'll do is they'll create like a keynote or a PowerPoint, and then they'll go to the front of the room and show it. Another option you can give them is create a screencast of their PowerPoint or keynote, or if they have a certain website or a problem they want to explain, they can do it using screencasting. Plus there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement in getting involved in a different technology technique. Oral reading. This is where I pretty much am touching down on some of the lower grades that you can utilize this too. Lots of times you want to have a recording of students, what they come in, what level they are at, and how they progress through the year. So you could always do recordings at different times of the year. It can help you prescribe and see what areas they might need help with. Also, if you have to have a recording to share with them or even their parents to show growth or what areas might be in need of assistance. Lastly, and I haven't tried this yet, but I think it's a great idea, grading or feedback on electronically submitted documents. If you have students submitting things to you electronically, whether it's Google Drive, Google Classroom, or even just regular documents that are being submitted to you by email, one way you can evaluate them and help give feedback is basically pulling up that document and pulling up a screencasting tool, and you can orally just go through the document and say, this is a great start to your letter, I would recommend you spell check, I like your ending. All those kinds of things you can record rather than have to write them down, save that recording, and share it with the student. So I think that that's a really awesome tool. Here are my personal top choices for screencasting that are all free. Screencast-O-Matic, this is actually my favorite. You can use this on all Windows computers. In addition, you can use it on a Mac computer. For Chromebooks or Chrome extension on a computer, you can use Screencastify. I know last year I kind of felt like my hands were tied because we had a lot of Chromebooks and I wasn't having luck with using some of the screencasting tools that I heard that were good for Chromebook. Now I have Screencastify. I found that that works really easy, and I think it'll be great to implement. Just so you know though, if you're using Screencastify, all you have to do is go to your Google Chrome store, and it doesn't cost anything, but you have to type in Screencastify, and it's an extension. Okay, so make sure you're looking for extensions and not click add, and then you'll find it up at your Google toolbar to be used anytime. On iPad, there's Doceri and Educreations. And for that, they're not the same capabilities as what you have for the Macs or Chromebooks or Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify. They're just an offshoot of something like screencasting that you could do using the iPad. Some other things would be a really good paid screencasting software is Camtasia. I've heard and seen a lot of neat projects done through Camtasia, but it does have a fee. And some other ones are Screener, Jinx, Snagit, Explain Everything app, and QuickTime Player. Again, I know I pretty much focus on Screencastify and Screencast-O-Matic because they are free. There's nothing you have to download for your computer to do that except for an extension for the Screencastify. But I like them because Screencast-O-Matic alone, they give you 15 minutes of free recording per presentation. So I could do that non-stop and just keep doing that as long as I'm saving it to another means like YouTube or to my computer. So you'll find that that's really nice because some of the other free services, they only give you about 5 minutes, so 15 minutes is really helpful. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I also have a YouTube channel that has some of the examples of screencasting that I've done and things I've done in the classroom that involve screencasting. Also, things from this workshop can be found at a website that says tinamaish.weebly.com. So what I did is I put some of the tools on there and videos so that you can view at home or at school that could be helpful. So I appreciate you listening today. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to contact me. Thanks.